Bob Nightengale covers the sport as well as anybody, Major League Baseball, USA Today columnist, and the Marlins have put the sport in jeopardy, and Bob joins us now. What's the next step in this situation, Bob?
I don't think baseball even knows. I mean, Notre Dame got canceled today with the Brewers and St. Louis Cardinals, with 2 Cardinal players testing positive. This is big for baseball because now they're the first team to have players test positive since the Marlins last week. The Marlins have like 18 or 19 of the 30 guys already sidelined because of positive tests.
Do we know how they came up with all these guys testing positive with the Marlins?
We don't. And Major League Baseball is looking into it. So are the Marlins. Something strange happened. I mean, certainly it seemed like it happened in Atlanta, where they had the 2 exhibition games before flying to Philadelphia, but just a huge outbreak. So apparently someone got positive in Atlanta, then they're on the team plane, and then boom, widespread.
But did you allude to them maybe going out on the town, or at least one of the players was partying in Atlanta?
I don't know about partying, but at least 1 or 2 guys went out in Atlanta. It could have been out to dinner, could have been something innocent, but left the hotel. And I think baseball now, that's why they've cracked down and say, hey, when you're on the road, you're not going anywhere. You're not even going to the hotel restaurant or grabbing a nightcap at the hotel bar, straight back to the room or the little private dining room. But somebody went out in Atlanta.
I don't understand, that baseball is sort of looking at this going, okay, now what is next? They're not going to play 60 games. And some of these other teams aren't going to play 60 games, Bob. I know the goal was just to get to the postseason so the owners can make some money back. But how are they going to decide who goes into the postseason if it's not a balanced schedule by these teams?
I think they had no choice, Dan, but to go by winning percentage. I mean, right now the Marlins are 2-1. So every game, maybe they get to be in the playoffs for the first time in ages. Yeah, it's a mess. One time, Dan, in spring training, or when this thing first got shut down, baseball was considering, worst comes to worst, just a tournament, like a March Madness tournament, baseball style. Maybe they're going to have to resort to that because, like you said, the big thing was just to have the postseason. That postseason's worth about $800 million.
What happens, like, for the next shoe to drop and baseball would do something dramatic? What would have to happen, considering all these games that are being canceled now that aren't even Marlins related?
Yeah, I think if just more and more games are canceled, they're going to have to, no choice but to suspend it at one point. And let's be honest, if this was the Yankees had, 18 guys test positive, the Dodgers, the Cubs, the sport would have been shut down for weeks. But it's the Marlins, like, okay, they're not supposed to be competitive anyway. You hate to say that, but if one of the big boys had gone down, then I think they'd have no choice. But let's suspend the season for a couple of weeks and pick it back up.
I agree with you. The fact that it's the Marlins, and we go, oh, it's the Marlins. But if this had been the Yankees or the Dodgers, this would be front page news. This would be huge. Is there a chance that the commissioner just says to the Marlins, thanks, we got some nice parting gifts for you, but you're bringing down the sport here, boys?
Well, they're very upset, living with the Marlins. They're having a compliance officer now travel with teams. Now you're supposed to wear the hospital mask instead of the cloth mask. It's possible they could do that, but hey, you have the taxi squad for a reason. That's why they have the extra 30 players. And considering some Marlins, it shouldn't be that big of a drop-off. It's not.
You're right. We're talking to Bob Nightengale, the baseball columnist for USA Today. I'm looking at the memorabilia back there. Is that a Bo Jackson football jersey?
It is, from Auburn days.
Nice. What's the best piece of memorabilia you have there in the house?
I've got a Yogi Berra jersey. That's pretty cool. And my favorite basketball player, Dr. J. So I have a Dr. J jersey, too, from Sixers. I wish I had it from the Nets. But, yeah, so I like those.
When you tell people about Bo Jackson, and he takes on like this superhero, like this comic book character type persona that people can't believe that somebody was that good. If he had stuck with baseball, Bob, and been healthy, because he got injured playing football, but if he had stuck with just baseball, what kind of career do you think Bo Jackson would have turned in?
I don't know if it would have been a Hall of Fame type career, Dan, but it would have been a multiple all-star type career, where he'd be a guy like, okay, is he going to Hall of Fame or not? I was lucky. I got to cover him as soon as he broke in with the Royals. And this guy would just do crazy stuff in the clubhouse. Say, hey, $10, I can jump over this table. Bow and arrow shooting up here. He said, I believe he could have done anything, gymnastics, swimming. The only thing he said he couldn't do was basketball. He says, I can't dribble. But anything else, he would have been an All-American, whatever he wanted to do.
As far as athletes to cover, how would you compare him to Deion Sanders in baseball and maybe somebody else being a great athlete in baseball?
Well, I would say Bo's number one, but partial because I covered him, was with him every day. And let's be honest, Bo did not like Deion at all. Deion was very flashy. Bo was not. Bo, of all of his accomplishments, I think the biggest accomplishment was overcoming that stuttering problem. It was as bad a stuttering problem as anybody I've ever been around. He went to speech therapy and everything else. Amazing what he's done. Because, I remember sitting down with him early after the first couple of weeks of joining the Royals. And he says, hey, people say, I say Bo knows, or, talk Bo as a third person as I'm arrogant. He goes, no, I can't say the word I without stuttering. So that's how the whole Bo.
Oh, wow. Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Let me leave you with this. Joe Kelly is appealing his suspension. The likelihood of that being reduced is what?
I'd say about 100%. That's, 8 games is equivalent of 22.7 normal season. I think they reduce it to 5 games. The bottom line is baseball was livid over that. Just the fact it could have been a complete nightmare. If a brawl had broken out, it would have been on every news channel across the world. Guys spreading COVID and stuff like that, wrestling on the ground. So that was their big fear. Like, hey, if there's any other season, go ahead. You got a free pass. Not this season.
But I also wonder if you gave the commissioner a mulligan to punish the Astros. A, could he have punished the Astros given the battle with the Players Association? And B, would he have attempted that battle?
I don't think so. I don't think he would have got any cooperation. I mean, the bottom line is, if there wasn't a whistleblower, Mike fires, I'm not sure anything comes out. I mean, nothing happened with the Red Sox, the Yankees, other teams investigated. But the fact they had one guy come out and the Astro players got immunity, so they say, yeah, what he said is correct. Unfortunately, he's right. I think if these guys had not got immunity, everybody would have clammed up or just completely denied it.
Yeah. Really, probably so. Mike Trout with the paternity leave. I didn't know there's a paternity list that you can be put on, but so Trout can come and go depending on getting tested and testing negative.
Well, you have a paternity list for 3 days. You're supposed to get 3 days with pay. Now, a team can give you a longer period of time and still pay you, which I'm sure this is the case. The baby is supposed to be born August 3rd, which is Monday. So I think you want to be very cautious. And as my firstborn, I do not want to miss his birth. I want to stay negative test-wise. So I'd be surprised if he's back right away. I could see him missing a week, at least being around the baby for a little bit. And I think the Angels will certainly understand and say, take as much time as you need. We need you back. Really, baseball needs him back.
Has Scott Morris signed Mike Trout's baby yet?
Well, Greg Lannis' agent got him locked up. So he's
okay. All right.
Another 10 or 11 years left. So
hey, it's great to talk to you, Bob. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, Bob Nightengale, USA Today.